Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Alberta Curling Series Major here on Curling Stadium. It is Saturday night, and we're going to bring you a C-side qualifying final here between Team Hunkin and Team Ha. My name is Matt Sussman, and alongside me is Haley Britton. Good evening, Haley.
Good evening.
So, two teams here. This is a last chance game to get the last qualifying spot, which begins tomorrow. Both teams played a number of games. Team Ha coming off a loss in the previous draw, losing to Team Kitazawa of Japan 7-4, and Team Hunkin has been on the ice a lot. This is their seventh game. They've only missed one draw so far.
Sorry?
Team Hunkin has only not played in one of the draws. So this is the eighth draw of the match, and they have only sat out for one of them. So
they must be tired.
Well, I would be tired if I was playing my seventh game of a weekend.
Oh, yeah.
5 is enough for me, but I'm sure they're used to this. And so Saturday night, I think we've had some pretty exciting games. So Haley, what are you expecting out of a game like this, sort of a last chance for both teams?
I'm definitely expecting both teams to give it their all. Well, we would expect that in any game, but since this, being a last, almost how you say, last shot game, I feel like both teams are going to come at it very aggressively, knowing that it is their last chance, and it's going to be a good game. Both these teams have done very well, and I think we're in for a treat for sure.
I sure hope so. Having seen how all the other teams have been doing, we always hope for another good one on a nice late Saturday night here. So Team Hunkin here is just finishing up practice. I believe this is their Lsd Throw.
Yeah,
it looks like it. I think Team Ha drew to the back of the 4, so I think that's what they got to beat. That one's top of the 4, so just depends on the measurement. Oh, they didn't even look at it. So.
They didn't even look. I didn't end to see where their Team Haas ended up, so I'm not sure if it was better or if it wasn't close. I'm not sure yet.
Absolutely. Well, we'll find out who throws first. I think by kicking it away, I think my instinct is that Team Ha might start with hammer.
Yeah, that's usually same with our team. If we know that it's closer, we'll just push it off. We don't need to look at that.
Exactly. And this is not the only game that is on the ice, nor is it the only game that is being broadcast. The other game is the team Skurlik versus Team Brown. The winner of that game will also get the final playoff spot and start fresh and early tomorrow morning. So we will be sure to keep you updated on that score while we watch this one.
Yeah.
So with Team Hunkin in the hack, I think that confirms our suspicions. Team Ha did win the hammer, and they will be throwing yellow stones. And so the lead, Dana Demmons, second, Becca Hebert, third, Kristen Streifel, and Jessie Hunkin being the skip for Team Hunkin. And on the other side of Team Ha out of Korea, the defending Korean national champions, you have Sujin Kim at lead, you have Tae Yang at second, Hyrene Kim at third, and Seongyoun Ha is the skip.
I've heard good things about Team Ha, so I'm excited to see them actually play live.
Yeah, I watched them a couple weeks ago when they were in Martinsville. I watched them curl against Team Chelsea Carey, and they didn't win, but they were impressive. They were bold. They do take some chances. They are very analytical, sometimes a little bit too much because they don't want to make sure that they miss any obvious shots there. But this is a very young team. I think they're all in their early 20s, but they will be coming back here in Alberta for the Pan-Continental Championships representing South Korea. So they are getting as much work here in Western Canada as they can get. So first end here, looks like we've got a pretty nice open one. Looks like we're playing a game of hits here, just everyone getting feel for the ice.
Yeah, getting used to it, seeing the line and stuff. Team Ha is definitely, as you said, they are young. It's definitely a team to look out for in the future, I think.
Yeah, and so with this being their fifth game, they started out with an 8-5 win over Team Skurlik, and then lost 6-1 versus Team Gim, their country mates. Then in the B side, they took a win over Team Moore 6-2, And then, as we mentioned, previous draw this afternoon, losing 7-4 to Team Kitazawa out of Japan. That was actually a very back and forth game where they were up 4-2, and then they gave up a big 4, and then couldn't score in the 8th to pull it off. So
definitely was an intense game. We weren't watching it, but we were keeping tabs on it.
You can sort of tell from that, anytime there's large numbers in there, something wild's going to happen.
Yeah.
First end here, though, of course, very nice and open. Everyone's just kind of getting a feel and got a hit and roll out. So,
yeah, usually see it with the more seasoned teams, like the professionals, that they like to start off usually with a blank just to get used to the ice, see the lines and things.
That's right. It's always nice to sort of, you don't want to have a very rec league game where in that first end you have just a bunch of junk and you don't want to accidentally give up a huge score, either team really. So fewer chances there are of a bunch of rocks in play. You want to wait until you want to find your chance for that, and first end's typically not that time.
Yeah, I agree.
Sweet. Just barely have a hit off that guard. Doesn't go out of play. Probably won't come into play.
Yeah, just sits on the edge there. Not very covering much of the house, though.
So Team Hunkin, as I mentioned, has gotten their money's worth, playing 6 games already, going into their 7th. They started out very nicely with a 7-1 win over Team Hilker, followed by a loss to Corinne Brown, 8-5. The next game, they just barely won 5-4 to Team Croft. And then they played Team Kitazawa and lost 6-0 going into the Seaside. And it was win or go home. And they beat Team Stixma 6-4 and Team Grandy 6-4, which brings us to now. So
that definitely is a lot of games for sure. I would be passed out on a couch by now.
That's right. Yeah, 7 is excessive.
Yeah,
but it does happen. I'll tell you, I know not everyone loves the triple knockout. Personally, I don't like playing in a triple knockout, but I love watching them. There's a lot of positives from a watchability perspective, but being in it, you just don't know what the next game is.
Exactly, yeah. Being in it, it's definitely stressful, and exactly. You don't know if you're playing the next game. You don't know how long you're going to stay. It's definitely intense when you're playing too, because you're like, we have to win this or we're out. But it's definitely fun to watch for sure.
An interesting sort of strategy here with the house wide open. More experienced team here is trying to lure Team Ha possibly into maybe going underneath those guards, but they're not biting. They're trying to hit every single one out of there.
Yeah, you can tell they know what they're doing just by keeping it clean since they have hammer and just trying to get used to the ice on this one. Oh. She's okay. Had a bit of a fall there.
Oh yeah, I think that was that the thrower?
I think it was one of the sweepers. Is she okay? Looks to have hit her knee on the ice.
I think that was looking at the jersey, Soo-Jin Kim, lead. Yep, kind of she's coming off the ice there for a second.
Yeah, looks like she's coming off. I know how that feels. It is definitely not fun hitting your knee on the ice. So I hope she feels better.
Well, she's going to have it looked at, possibly just sit a little bit out. I don't know if I believe they are free to continue the game if they'd like. I'm not entirely sure on the rules for an injury.
Yeah, neither am I. I'm not sure if what they do here. They might just wait out of like respect to see if she comes in, or they continue. I'm not sure what they're planning to do here.
I know your adrenaline kicks in, you hurt your knee, you want to keep playing, but the fact that she went out into the
right away,
lounge, yeah, just kind of makes you wonder, but I don't want to speculate. And
no, yeah.
So
yeah, injuries are never fun, and you always want to keep playing, and you don't want to get out. But again, injuries are, you don't want to push yourself, right?
The skips are coming back down here. Looks like we are in a bit of an injury timeout, which is a rare thing. You don't see it a lot in curling.
Oh, yeah.
But we do want to make sure she's okay.
Yeah, that's definitely the most important thing at the moment, is that everyone is safe and healthy.
Yeah, with many reasons being you don't want to exacerbate or make an injury worse by trying to play through it. That's one of the common mistakes that young teams can make, is you don't want to let your teammates down, but you don't want to let them down by making it worse. So
she seems to be coming out, so hopefully she's feeling better. Probably just gave her a bit of a shock there too, and
yeah, you just don't know. You just don't know how it's going to react.
Yeah,
it's a very good sign. Back out.
Yeah, she looks to be okay, so it is a good sign.
Absolutely. All right, so with that, we are back on. I believe we have, I think we're on third stones.
Yes, thirds. Looks like third's last right now.
Team Hunkin looks like, I believe they'll just continue to throw those guards. Those seem to work well for them. Everyone's getting the draw weight feel. There's a lot of advantages to just doing that rather than trading hits. So that's pretty good strategy here for a nice open first end.
So Matt, how did you get into the curling world?
Oh, well, as an American, it's always an interesting story. I was in my first year in college in Ohio, and they're fortunate enough that there was a curling club on campus at Bowling Green State University. And I was unaware of it, what it was, but I had a 7:00 evening class that I didn't want to go to. And I didn't know what curling was, but I knew it wasn't class. So I skipped school and went to a open house and learned how to play. And that's where I fell in love with it. And I've been playing for over 20 years.
Wow. You never hear stories like that, but I think that's a pretty one. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah. So I've been playing for quite a while, mostly recreationally, and the occasional competition, but yeah, between watching it, playing it, that's what I've been doing for a while.
How do you find the the differences between Canadian and American curling? What do you think about all of that?
Well, it's largely the same. I think the main difference is in terms of high level competition,
Mm-hmm.
and being in college, we did get the CVC, so we were able to watch the Scotties and the Brier, and that was my first introduction to competitive curling. In terms of how the game is, there's a lot of differences in terms of the way that it's trending.
Mm-hmm.
I know that in Canada there is a number of struggles to keep the membership up, which is ridiculously high. Let me just say that first. It's already massive, possibly saturated, but in the U.S. we are seeing clubs form everywhere. We are seeing clubs start in hockey arenas and then moving to their own places. Just around in my area in the Midwest or the Great Lakes area, we are seeing a new facility. I can think of 3 right now, and sort of within a 4-hour drive that are
Nice.
popping up. So they're coming up everywhere, and that is exciting. And at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of infrastructure that Canada has as well. They shouldn't be ashamed of that. So, we all have the same challenges, but
Yeah,
it's the fact that it's forming is
it's
very good
good.
sign.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the Olympics had a lot to do with that, for sure, getting the popularity out there.
It really has. I think that's what really started the growth from when it was on. It started when the U.S. had the Olympics in Salt Lake City. That was a lot of exposure, and the men getting a bronze in 2006 and the gold in 2018 were big boosts. So, and now it's NBC has a made-for-TV series, Curling Night in America, and the teams are slightly recognizable, going on late night shows. So having all of that is, when you're high-fiving Jimmy Fallon, that's usually a good sign. So
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
throwing out first pitch at a Seattle Mariners game, dropping a puck at a NHL game, they're doing all that. So, but with all that said, that brings the focus to it, and then when regular players start to realize, oh, I don't even have to be an athlete to do this. I can play. I can't bend down. I can use a stick. I can use a wheelchair. I can play and still have fun. And that's where you get hooked.
Yeah, and I didn't even know they had that curling night in Canada you mentioned. So that's interesting. I'll
Yeah.
have to look into that.
Oh, we have a miss here on a attempted hit here, and a chance out of nowhere. I believe Team Ha has a chance to
Get 2 here.
drop another one in for 2 points. I believe this is Hammer.
I believe this is this is last rock, so it is a draw for 2.
After what was looking like an obvious blank, they played for it the entire game. Seongyoun Ha has a chance to touch the rings for 2 points.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where you have the plan and you get this chance and you immediately throw that plan out the window and take your 2.
Absolutely. I think she'll take that any day of the week.
Oh, for sure. Especially in the first end, it gives you a nice little confidence boost and a little cushion going into the next ones.
So the shot's away. Not touching it yet.
Looks to be just sliding through. Oh, no.
It's going to be back house, but it will be okay. Nice. Just in the back 4. So Team Ha stayed patient, and after a missed takeout on the last shot, Team Ha draws for their 2 points, and they'll take a 2-0 lead heading into the second end. And we're back for the second end here in Leduc, Alberta. Team Ha takes a 2-0 lead after a missed takeout on the final throw, leading to an open draw for 2. And after what looked like to be a very textbook first end, suddenly the dynamic, Haley, of this game just changed like that.
Yeah, and it's just that game of inches, they say, just a couple inches away, and it just ended up being that 2 for just that little miss.
And it was one of the more unfortunate ones where you didn't miss it entirely. You actually did touch it, but then it still didn't go out. So
yeah, it's one of those ones where you're like, oh, so close, and it just doesn't hit the right spot.
So now with Team Ha having their 2 points, they can go aggressive here, set up the center guard. Team Hunkin's going to play right along, throw a corner up. So we should have some rocks in play this time.
Yeah, definitely way different strategy than the first end, I feel, we're gonna see here. We have a bit of an update on the sheet next to us. Looks like Team Brown is leading 1-0.
Team Ha's lead, Sujin Kim, trying to come around the guard she threw, and probably wanted that a little bit deeper, but it is just on the rings. Not an ideal spot, but chance here to push it around. Could even remove it if she wanted to. Probably not a lot to see of it, but
yeah, it looks like it's hidden very much behind that top guard. But yeah, for Team Ha, definitely would have liked that a little bit deeper. But if it stays there, you can always use it as a double center guard.
So a chance here to sort of bounce off it, possibly roll under the corner, which is the ideal spot. Center guard coming up quick. Just gets by it.
Oof.
And that will roll not quite under cover, nor do I believe the yellow is out of play, let alone might possibly still be touching.
Yeah, it looks like it's just biting that edge of back 12. So didn't get all the way out on that shot.
No, I think that's still a better spot than it was. It does increase the chance that we will see score this time rather than a blank, but decent result. Forces them to chase it.
Yeah, it's definitely it's still there. They probably won't worry about it now, but you end up forgetting about biters. It might come back and, excuse the pun, but bite you in the end.
Absolutely.
For sure. I've had a couple games where that biter just sits back house and it slips your mind, and all of a sudden they get 3 instead of 2. It's probably won't worry about it now, but it should be might looked at later in the end.
Well, the fact that there are now 2 biters, extremely separated, I think this is Team Hunkin's signal to go underneath, beat them there, and try to score your 2 that way.
Yeah, I definitely want to go around now before Team Ha gets another one in there, because then they'll have 3 yellows. But yeah, if Team Hunkin gets this one in, it'll be a pretty good shot for them.
Looking for this one to curl under a little bit. And that lands top button. That's a really good place.
Yeah, and it looks like it's hidden right behind that top yellow too, which is very nice. Can't really, you have to have a nice little lightweight hit to come around and tap that back. Very nice draw on Team Hunkin's part.
Yep, so the pressure goes back on Team Ha. You could freeze on top of this as an option. They are looking, however, to possibly either pick it out or, chip it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the upweight, it does look like they're trying to just get that out of there.
Well, they're not crashing. Wow, very close. But right
it's
on
a
the
nice shot.
Team Ha now laying 3.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have hammer, but they did show them the path. They got just past that guard, and they did bop that stone right in the nose. So Team Hunkin going to try and replicate that.
Mm-hmm. Those shots where you just skinny the guard, they always make you hold your breath, but they're very, very nice to have made once it gets by.
Trying to push this one over here. And they get a little piece of it. It's out in the open there, but not exactly what they were going for. Probably too much weight, if anything.
Yeah, a little too much weight, which caused it just to stay straighter than Team Ha's on that one. But yeah, that yellow one's out in the open now, so Team Ha has to try and figure out what to do with that one. If I was Team Hunkin, I wouldn't mind the hit and roll under that top yellow to put it back where put yours where that yellow one was.
Mm-hmm. Well, you could do, I think, every commentator's favorite play here, which is the Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm.
With it only being September, but you can put your Christmas tree up whenever you want. And that's, if you're not sure what that is, that's if you think about the leaves of a Christmas tree, how they sort of gradually go out. Think about, visualize a rock in between the one in the forefoot and the one center guard, just sort of half poking out and then half covering the one behind it. That's what you call a Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when they do that, Christmas comes early.
Absolutely. They are going that way, so.
I believe that is what they're trying to do, yes.
Yeah, it's a decent tree.
It's a little deeper, I believe, than what they would have liked, but it looks like it is. Might just be out of the house, actually.
Wow, yeah. The other side of that, a shot stone is open. They had to sweep so much to try to get it on that it over-curled on them, and so now there's a chance here to hit shot stone and possibly even roll outside would be ideal here.
Mm-hmm.
It has to curl.
Yeah, it looks like it's going right by. Might get a little piece. Just a little piece.
Yeah, should be enough to take it out there. Still Team Han control here. They've got at least 2, possibly 3, all touching around the house.
Mm-hmm. That top one, I want to say it's in, but it's hard to tell from not being directly above it, like in person for sure.
Yeah, that's your ultimate tell there. And really, even if it is on or not, I don't think this changes the call too much. You still you're in full force mode here. You still want to get underneath it, and that is the call. Yeah,
you just use that as your second center guard, get one in there, and then you're sitting your 3 again.
This is Irene Kim throwing third stones.
Looks very nice.
And that one lands right in the forefoot, almost completely under cover. Really good place. There might be an opportunity to try to chase it, as we saw Team Ha do earlier in the end.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to really get the weight right on this one.
Yeah, they've taken this path before. They've seen Ha do it, so they just gotta get the right weight in this time, and it should work in their favor. Yeah, just leaving that yellow just a little bit open definitely tempts Team Hunkin to get in there and take it out. It looks pretty good. Just taps it back.
Yeah, I mean they went with that was a little more down weight than I think they were expecting. It actually over curled. It actually got underneath, and it landed in a nice spot, and it did push Shot Stone behind the tee line. So there's a lot to like about it.
It definitely limits the scoring area too.
Yeah, that if that yellow stays there, there's going to be a lot of difficulty there. So they have to think about this here. They have to protect that. They can't really go after second shots.
Yeah.
Haley, you're the skip. What do you throw here?
Well, I think he's somewhat guarded because you don't have last rock. You're sitting one. You're looking pretty good to get a point here. I think you just guard it up right now.
Yeah, really anything in front of it is going to help you a lot here. You always want to watch out for the shot that could score you two, and really it's anything down that line. I think they were calling for something deeper than you would have called, like in the 8 foot.
Yeah, I think they're putting it just top button, which is nice because it is under that yellow. If it's a little out though, it might leave the double, which I think I was thinking. But if you get it in the right spot, it's looking pretty good. So we're on skips first. Just drawing into the top of the button here.
Yeah, this is, again, one of those sort of aggressive calls. It works out really well if you get it there.
Yeah, and for them, I think they're aiming for this one. Tolerance would definitely be a little lighter, but definitely would aim to get it to the right. Just tugging the button, just right behind that top guard.
This one's hanging out there. You don't want to leave a double. But here it comes.
Ooh, just right at the end there. Just kind of dives in.
Yeah, that's about the weight that they called. Might be a double, though.
Yeah, that was my worry with calling that one. You just leave it a little too open, and they can get at least one of them out. If they hit it in the right spot, they might be able to get both.
Yeah, and you got a lot of room if you're Jessie Hunkin to roll wide. And assuming the one that was just thrown can scoot out of the rings, although where they're having it, they might just be trying to hit as much as they can see and just spill everything, which is also not a bad call.
Yeah, try and move everything around.
Forcing them to throw another draw, and possibly there's your two if they can't get that one under.
Yeah, I like the shot, but that definitely was my worry when calling that one, just leaving it a little too much open and leaving the double.
This one's hanging.
Seems to be hanging on that little path there.
Yeah, that extra weight. So she did the hardest possible thing, which was catch the back one.
Yeah.
Team Ha's still sitting shot now, and a pretty good one there. And it's really the same situation again.
think they're going to call a little higher this time. But yeah, you could always do the same one, do a little higher. But I think they like where they're sitting at the moment, and they kind of want to just stop Team Hunkin from getting there too.
Yeah, I think a guard will do that and possibly steal as well.
Yeah.
They make a good guard. I don't see a very easy shot for one.
No, yeah, they put it in the right spot. Yeah, isn't very much you can do to get that yellow out of there.
So they're lining it up, seeing where they want it to be. I think they're going a little bit even further out.
Mm-hmm.
Again, she doesn't want to tuck this one under at all. They don't want to leave any piece of that shot stone there, because then there's a pick for one. They want this completely, they want the high side guarded, if anything.
Yeah, if we look here, I believe they just want it maybe a little less than half hidden under that top one, and then the rest of it covering that back.
Yeah, if you guard the edge of the 4 foot, I think that's the spot. So Team Ha's last stone is thrown. They are
hanging out there.
Going,
again.
Yeah, I think they.
There, yeah, right near the end, it likes to dive.
Yeah, right there. So that's
perfect.
Mission accomplished. So now, it's no draw.
And I think if you, this definitely is a hard call for sure. There's no draw. There is that yellow on yellow run back. It's tricky, but they might just be looking at this in-off here. Ooh.
There is that shot. You miss that, you give a 4. That's a big risk. So if I think the only possible thing they might have, if they do sort of a wide draw, sort of like back 8, back 12, maybe even back 4, get around that tight yellow guard and just push their red stone back 2 or 3 feet, that might do it. Now, judging by where the broom is.
I think they're going for the hit and roll off the yellow here.
Oh, just sort of the redirect.
Yeah.
Off the half on biter.
I think that's what they were looking at, yeah, and maybe trying to just roll their red in to bump it.
We'll see. The other thing, I think it's because it's low risk. If they if they're like peel weight at this and they just get a sliver of that red, I don't think there's a way that can hurt them. Famous last words. But if they get anything on that red, we'll see. Looking at the handle here, you might be doing your shot, Haley.
Yeah, I'm not. I personally, I don't think I would have called this shot. I definitely worth it. It's worth it if they make it, but I wouldn't have done this one. Ooh.
Well, good effort, and
good try. Yeah.
They didn't make it worse, but with a couple really nice draws down to the 4 foot, Team Ha is going to add to the scoreboard, stealing one, and they take a 3-0 lead in this winner go home game here, going into the third end. And we're back here in the third end of the Curling Stadium Alberta Curling Series Major. My name is Matt Sussman, and Haley Britton is alongside me here. And we just watched an end where the force was on the entire time until Skip Stones, and then the steel was on.
Mm-hmm. And both ends seem to be just that little inch that just seems to give the points away for this one.
And as we mentioned earlier, Jessie Hunkin's team is playing their 7th game of the weekend, and you got to wonder if, boy, I mean, just saying 7th game of the weekend just makes me tired. I can't imagine playing in it, but that has to be a factor. Yeah,
definitely. The tired has set in. We want just the 7. It's a very high number. I think the max I've ever played 5, maybe 6, stretching it, but 7 definitely has got to put a strain on your mind and your body for sure.
I've done 6, but yeah, I think with a max of 3 in the game, 3 in a day really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they played on, if I'm not mistaken, Thursday, and then that would be 3 yesterday and 3 today. That's a lot.
It is. Definitely get your money's worth with games, but it's definitely got to put a strain on you.
But there's not really a lot they can do about that. They have to settle down, start making their shots here. They got to corner up. So again,
they seem to be doing pretty well so far. They're doing better than I would, so that's for sure.
You're absolutely right. You got to remember that sometimes. There is no room for criticism here. They're going to be wiping the floor with me 10-1 if I would.
Exactly.
So we're going to be as nice as possible here. Especially if I had played 6 games going into the 7th, I would have just shaked after 4. Just
right, yeah.
Thanks for playing.
I'm gonna go take a nap. I sympathize and respect because it is hard to do.
That's right. And with it being September already, you don't want to get tired too quickly. I mean, these seasons are getting longer and longer for all these players.
They're adding more tournaments here and there, more chances to get in. It's getting pretty packed.
Absolutely. So we have the lead's second stone here, and that is pretty good freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Team Hostile sitting shot, and they're going to now play around this center guard, it seems.
Mm-hmm. They're sitting 1 right now and coming around it, probably trying to just block them from getting theirs out.
Yeah, this is where you learn a lot about angles and trying to hit the exact right spot there. So,
yeah, this is the game of inches and angles for sure. Coming down nicely on that one and just gives that red just a little tap.
Yeah, it's not bad. It does give, I think, Team Hunkin an opportunity here. They can see most of their stone.
Mm-hmm.
There is a chance here to sort of hit and flop over, probably sit first and third.
Mm-hmm, yeah, you hit that red, that yellow goes out.
Yeah, one of their first good chances here.
Pretty
Comes
good
with
so
sweep.
far.
Got to get past the yellow, and they do. And they roll just next to shot stone. I believe they're sitting either 1 or 2. Probably doesn't matter at this point because the call is still the same. And
looks like it's just maybe just a little further outside than the yellow is.
I think so. Yeah, and regardless of where it is, I think they have a double attempt here.
Yeah, for sure. I think no matter where it was, I think you try for the double, see what you can get. You get 1 out, it's okay. It's still early in the end. But you get 2, that would be perfection at this point.
Yeah, this is your Wednesday night league. You just say, throw it hard down here. You'll hit one of them.
Exactly. You'll get something.
It's hard to mess this up. Again, things you just don't want to say, and you'll find a way to do it. But a really good chance here to sort of clear the reds and lay 2.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, you see some pretty fantastic shots in lead play, and you're like, oh yeah, that's what we were trying to do. You just play along with it.
I'm trying for the outside one first.
Nice.
That looks really nice. Really well done shot there. Yeah, they always say for new curlers, there's a couple shots you always remember. You remember your first double, and then you remember your first called and made double.
Exactly.
And those will always be 2 different shots.
Oh, yeah. You got the one that you wanted to make, and the one you're like, oh, yeah, that wasn't planned, but we're making it anyway. Looks like they leave the hit and roll here for Team Hunkin.
Yeah.
Looks to just be hanging out there.
Well, Team Hunkin's just not getting the angles on these hits here. We've seen a few just sort of go wide, and I think wide has sort of been the name of the game for the way they've missed.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of them that just either stay out there and haven't curled in enough, and they just end up hitting nose instead of rolling on most of them.
And again, that could be fatigue. I know sometimes when you get tired, you have a tendency to sort of try to give it a little bit extra and throw a little bit too much, and that can then have a tendency, if you're throwing too hard, to have these things go wide.
Yeah, that's the whole correlation with the weight in the line. You throw a little too much, and it just stays out there.
So not a lot of options here on where to hit and roll on this one, but I think going under, I don't know if there's enough room to go under, but obviously just hitting it's the main game here.
Yeah, it looks to be almost pretty even with that yellow one. So if you roll, you're probably just rubbing up against the other yellow one, even sitting like almost a horizontal freeze.
Absolutely. And that rolls a foot or an inch, but yeah, that's good. I don't think you can get both of them. I don't think you'd want to try to get both of them.
No, yeah, and it definitely takes away the hit and roll for shot too. They'd have to roll under the red on the opposite side to have that there.
I believe the call here is to roll outside. Try to set up your 2 that way.
And it just looks like it's just hanging out there. Might just get a piece of it.
Oh. And that sticks in the back and rolls out. So again, another case of just going a little wide.
Yeah, and it moves it around too. So now you don't have that one to hit and roll off of anymore.
Absolutely. So now, Team Han with sitting 2 without hammer, they can now protect their shot stone. a lot of ways you can do that. You can just try to lop another one in there just on top of it. I think they are sort of looking at that, possibly preventing any sort of run back opportunity.
Yeah, you almost just sit in front of it, even if you're edge to edge with that top guard. And you don't really have to worry about that back one since they hit it, they're not shot. So you're just focusing on that one in the top 4 area. Looking pretty good. Might just bump that one a bit. But it's still pretty good. Leaves them sitting 3, and it's right behind that top yellow too.
Yeah, it is. It did overcurl, but you were allowed to overcurl on that one. It's really hard to take any of them out. Really, any of them out. I think they're all kind of staying there for a while, and that's going to force I believe, a draw around. Maybe you're trying to go around everything?
It looks to be what they're doing, yeah.
And that is...
Looks like it's just going to come down on top of those 2 yellow.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what they meant. It's 4th shot. It's a little usable, but I'd certainly rather be yellow right now.
For sure, yeah. They're sitting 3. They've got almost consider that red one as their second center of guard, and it's hard to get both of those yellows out right now. It's definitely a good position to be in.
Yep, absolutely. So now you're looking, if you are Team Ha, this is their analytical side now coming out. They have a chance to sort of try to get into the mind of your opponent and see, what can you do? What if they try to throw this run back here? Where does everything go? And if they think it's fine, if they think it's not possible to spill everything, then you try something else. But I don't know if they need to worry about the run back. If they make that run back, you tip your cap and
exactly, yeah. Yeah, at this point, you look at all the shots that they have, and you pick you block the easiest one. And I feel like that run back, it's a good shot. They make it, then they deserve it for sure. Again, you said they tip their hat, and I feel like you just block a different one here, because I feel like that one isn't the easiest shot to make at the moment.
I believe they're going for a guard on the sort of clockwise path there. Maybe going in, but knowing that they just threw that path, take it away, make them go the outside.
Exactly,
the unknown path.
Yeah, knowing that run back is the harder shot, this shot definitely forces them to look at that, for sure. It's hard to make, though, and as you said, if they make it, then hats off to them. It's better than I would have done, that's for sure.
First skip stone out.
Ooh.
Oh, and they crash on the wide guard, and they sort of corner freeze on their yellow. Not really where you wanted that.
But it looks like Team Hunkin's just ignoring it and going for the draw at this point.
Yeah, I think Jessie is sort of seeing what she's going to be left with. You could certainly throw weight at that yellow, but 2 reasons. One, you're probably getting 2 and still leaving shot. You're still going to throw a draw on your first. And second of all, they've been a little erratic on their hits. So throw your draw weight. You did that. You know what it is, and you get 2 chances at this, really.
Yeah, exactly. You practice it now since she figures that that's what she's going to have in her second. Practice it now and then just perfect it for the next one to stop Team Ha from getting a lot of points this end.
Yeah, third end. You don't want this game to be over right away.
Yeah.
Still, even if you score 1, you're still in it. So
exactly, yeah. And it's very early. They score 1 and they still have a really good chance to come back. You just want to get this one in the right spot for here.
This is starting to curl on her. This is going to come up narrow, and that is going to spill on. And so Team Ha, with their last, without hammer, is already sitting 4.
Yeah, at this point, you try and think what shot she make and block the easy one because it looks... It's definitely a sticky situation. You got to put the right stone in the right spot.
Well, I think they're looking at, again, all of the possibilities that they have to score. Can you throw weight at that red stone and kind of move everything around? If you hit the one that Jessie just threw into sort of the, I guess, what second shots, I don't think you score. I don't think it leaves. I think it kind of sticks right there.
Yeah, I think it kind of just moves the one that's first shot in a bit and maybe the one that's third out a bit, but I don't think you're sitting shot if you hit that one.
It's a really interesting angle there because now does the run-in stone possibly spin for points? But again, it's a risky shot, and I don't think it's the one that they'd. I mean, it's a shot that they can certainly try, but I think there's still a wide draw, if nothing else, to cut them down. But I think they definitely want to. Now it looks like they're throwing possibly a guard here at that.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so
it looks like
they're gonna try to beat them there, and try to sit 5. That's a very aggressive call.
That run that Jessie just threw definitely made the draw a bit harder, but I feel like Team Ha doing this gets there first. It can be bittersweet because you're also showing Team Hunkin the path that you're going to take here too.
Now, based on where she's sitting, I think she is calling for the guard.
That's what I would have called. Just a guard, maybe block that wide draw and block that potential run-in with the red.
Well, the guard's a little deep. It just nose freezes on the red, and that is an interesting situation. You have the draw. If you're a rec leaguer, you might even look at that yellow-red and say, well, that's really easy to promote. I can get, I just need to throw the right weight at that. But I think they're going to just look at the straight draw that is there. They just need to touch the 4-foot. That is very doable.
Yeah, and even at this point, if you don't touch the 4, but you're mid-8, you're giving Ha 1, which isn't terrible, but you're limiting the scoring area. But
you don't touch the 8-foot at all. You're giving up 3, and suddenly you're down 6-0.
Exactly.
So, big shot already for Jessie Hunkin here in the third end to try to cut the lead down to 2. So sweepers are staying close.
Might just be on that back yellow there.
And calling the audible, throwing down to the back. And that is going to be a steal of 2, possibly 3.
2 for sure. And from this angle, it looks like 3, but can't tell.
Yeah, so that was just a little bit of nerves. Didn't want it to be light, and they threw it. Called the plan B by drawing down to the one in the back that was not supposed to factor in, and
looks like they're calling for a measure, which I agree with because I for sure can't tell.
Go get the stick if you're not sure.
I've been told if you have to look twice, you measure it.
Oh, they're kicking it out. They're not going to measure it. So we will see what the score was.
2 for sure, but
2 for sure, possibly 3. But Team Ha, regardless, is in control as we go into the 4th.
For sure.
Well, we're back going into the 4th end here of the Alberta Curling Series Major, presented by Curling Stadium. And as you can see on the scoreboard, it was just a steal of 2 after a heavy draw, landed on a back yellow rock. And so Seongyoun Ha's young Korean championship team has a commanding 5-0 lead over Jessie Hunkin as we go into the 4th end.
Definitely in control here, this game, being up as high as they are, but still a lot of game left. You can still come back.
So this is, they absolutely can. 5-0 is not insurmountable, and it looks like they're going to try a tick shot here after a center guard is thrown. I believe the thought here is made correctly, you get 2 corner guards.
Mm-hmm. And that'd definitely be good on Team Hunkin's part. Get those corner guards up. That way you can use them, get on the board, get your 2.
This one's over curling a lot. Looks like they're going to hit maybe over curl altogether. Now you got 2 centers, so it's already cluttered up.
Mm-hmm. Team Ha looks like they just want to take out their own. Does not look like they want to deal with it.
Well, that is what we call the peel of shame.
Had to do a couple of those in my day. Sometimes your own rock isn't doing you any good, and you got to get it out of there.
Now, if that's the biggest mistake they make tonight, I think they'll be happy about that, as this is going to start to... That should be okay. It should be out there.
Yeah.
So I mentioned earlier and alluded to it, Seongyoun Ha winning the Korean championship, which they played over the summer, and that allowed them to play into a brand new event that's going to be at the international level, and that is the Continental Curling Championships, which will be technically later this month, starting on October 31st in Calgary, which is the combination of the Americas region and the Pacific Asia region.
Interesting.
And it's very much set up like the European Championships, where you have an A division and a B division. and a certain number of teams that do well enough will then qualify to the World Championships in the spring. And that means that, sorry, all the North American fans of Canada and the United States, you no longer just automatically get your spot. You have to play into it.
Have to work for it this time.
Absolutely. So I believe it's the top 5 teams. I could be wrong. It's either 4 or 5 from each division will claim spots. And so I mentioned Team Ha will represent South Korea. Carrie Anderson will represent Canada. United States team has not been selected yet, but they will be there along with Japan, China, Hong Kong, Brazil, Australia, and Kazakhstan. Now that's the women's side. So 9 teams will play in that. On the men's side, it will be South Korea, United States, Canada, Japan, China, Chinese Taipei, New Zealand, and Brazil. So they'll just play a round robin followed by a playoff, and the top qualifiers will then go to Worlds. So it's a good idea. It's a lot better than the previous, which was basically Brazil playing either the United States or Canada. They now will have more international opportunities to play other teams and possibly score some ranking points. So it's really exciting. And there are B divisions as well. There will be other countries in both regions that will be playing, and again, a great opportunity to get some games in. I know that the Mexican women's team had a fundraiser and sold some shirts, and I know that they had that because I bought one of them. So several teams will be up there in Calgary, and I'm really excited for them. It should be a good show.
Yeah. And I love that you get, like, with that, you get so many different teams. Like, I didn't even know Kazakhstan had a curling team. So it's awesome giving chances to teams that might not have had that chance before.
I think that's the goal. You think about trying to develop as a nation. You want to play. Now Kazakhstan, I believe, did have a team that would play at the Pacific Asia Championships. But this then gives them a chance to play for something, because they need to do well enough. And if they don't do well enough, then the next year they get relegated to the B division. And then other countries get an opportunity to play for something, and then they get a chance to play. Imagine getting a chance to play Canada. They just don't get that.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing with that new event, is that teams get a chance to play other teams that have that experience, then they can learn from that and kind of progress their skills. Absolutely.
Anyways, back to this game. We have some rocks in play here. And looks like Team Hunkin's got a couple stones in good spots. They got a center guard. They got they got shot stone right now, and there's an opportunity here to possibly put a point or two up on the board here.
Yeah, and as we said, it is still, it's halfway through the game. You'd like to get at least multiple points in this end. One isn't terrible, but you'd like to get your 2 with the hammer this end, just to get on the board and give yourself just a bit higher of a chance.
Yeah, and they've got a good end to do that right now, as they just throw a shot, slips a little bit deep. They are separated, but this is an opportunity here for Korea to hit one of them. Again, you don't have to, you would be tempted to draw down to that back stone and get shot, but, now that you've got a commanding lead, you may not need to do that.
Yeah, you're up 5-0. I feel like right now at this moment you'd like to try and keep it clean. The draw isn't the worst idea, but I feel like in their situation, just keeping it clean is the best option for them.
Yeah, now they're getting really greedy. They're eyeballing, can you double this? When you're feeling it, you're feeling it.
Exactly. Yeah, timeout.
Yeah, I believe in these events, you're allowed to call a timeout and bring a coach out and just, talk it over. It's a good opportunity here to sort of settle down and get a good sort of learning experience.
Yeah. Settle down, talk it over, take a breath, kind of calm yourself down, and just get your head back into the game. I know there's been a couple times where my team has used the timeout. Just we know what we're calling, we're just taking it to kind of bring ourselves back, just to focus us in. But definitely good use for the timeout here, I think.
Absolutely. There's not a lot of opportunities in curling, at least, to talk to your coach in game. There's obviously, I'm sure, now I've never had a coach, but I assume that the coach gives you a lot of insights between the games, less so during the game.
Yeah, it's once they get the picture of the whole game, you can kind of go over your shots, but it is nice to hear from them during the game, to hear their opinion and what they think you should do. But definitely in between games is when you can go over it as a team and kind of think, oh, we could have done this and that. Because right now it's timed, right? You have I think it's a minute, so you don't really get that full talk through. But it is definitely nice to hear from them and hear their opinion.
So after that, they made the decision to just peel the center guard. If I was the coach, I probably would have been saying, well, that's the simpler shot. You just make them, there's a lot of things that can go wrong if you try to pick one out, and make the simple shot. Just get that one.
Team Ha has been pretty bang on with their hits tonight. Haven't seemed to be having much trouble with it, which is good for them, but definitely very intimidating for Team Hunkin.
Absolutely, and a very impressive showing so far. Team Ha, if we look at the world rankings, came into this event 45th, and a lot of those points were from events this year. And that is very far back behind two of their country mates, Team Kim and Team Gim, who are both in the top 10. So sort of a youth movement on this one. Team Hunkin, by the way, is ranked 34th. And in terms of Alberta teams, that would make them, I believe, 4th among current Alberta teams. So early in the rankings, a lot of room to move up, but at least in terms of the rankings, this came in as a very close match. So
definitely being the 4th in Alberta is something to be proud of, and you got your good spot, and you've got room to work up too.
Absolutely.
They definitely are looking at this double now.
Well, now that the coach is gone, they can do what they want.
Exactly, yeah.
You could still certainly peel the guard, but with them sitting two, you just want to take that opportunity. The guard is in a worse spot than it was, and now you can hit this. You might even get both. But
yeah, it's definitely more open now than it was with that last one.
So this is your chance.
Looks to be just over curling, just a tad.
Yeah, you want to make sure you hit one of them flush, which they do. So a red one goes away. It's not the one they were aiming for, but it's...
Still gets one out of there. Opens it up.
Exactly. It's one more that's not there. Now, Jessie Hunkin has a chance here to possibly sit 3.
Yeah, you put one right in behind those top 2, and you're sitting pretty right now.
This draw opportunity is coming up way light.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to
Looks
try
like
to
it's
push over.
just going to be another guard. It's over even
Yeah.
further this time, I think.
Yeah, it's almost identical to the one that was just there before.
Mm-hmm.
But Seongyoun is going to take a crack at this double again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she knows what she did the first time and just got to fix it again.
Well, again, I don't know if the double's there, but there is a chance to hit at least the open one, and that's good enough. They are looking at it, though. They want it so bad. You can tell.
You can tell they're trying to make it there almost.
Yeah, if you hit enough of this, I think you can go over top and clip the back one.
Mm-hmm. I feel like top priority is just to get that top red one out. If you clip that back one, it's extra bonus.
Oh, this one's over curling too.
Mm-hmm.
So they hit their own, and that sort of clears everything up. But that leaves Team Hunkin with really good opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
You can see they're sort of looking at that stone underneath. They thought it picked or grabbed something underneath. That missed by a lot. That was not a stone that. I mean, they still would have hit it if that guard wasn't there. But yeah, that jumped on them in a hurry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely have to put this one in the right spot. If you're Team Hunkin, you put it in the wrong one, you might leave them another double. But it's definitely in a good spot right now, drawing for 3.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to avoid a double entirely.
Yeah.
You do want, I mean, if you can stack these, again, the Christmas tree coming back into play, if you can line them up, I think that is your best chance at avoiding a double, certainly a triple.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I definitely don't want to leave the triple here.
Absolutely. You know what they're going to throw, and it's wide open. So
yeah, I think if you just line them up, I think that's the best spot for it. Don't really leave an easy double, that's for sure.
Yeah, the mentality here, I think, is you have a really good chance of scoring 2, getting back in it.
Mm-hmm.
4 ends after this, a lot of time. If you're lucky, you get 3.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to make this one.
Yeah. Yeah, and as you said, it's still got 4 ends, so you're pretty happy with getting 2 right now and just narrowing that lead.
Speaking of 4 ends to go, we got a close one on the other sheet here. Team Skurlick and Team Brown knotted at 1. Team Brown having hammer going into the 5th, but they have blanked the last 2 ends over there.
Oof, clean game over on that side.
So after standing in the hack, talking to the front end, I think they're going to go the other way with this one. Maybe, I don't know, maybe hit the, maybe just sort of tap the stone and sort of over curl and maybe show half on that one?
Yeah, I think she was putting the broom maybe top 12, just kind of sitting in between them, but a little higher instead, almost like another guard.
That's an opportunity as well. I think that might even tempt Team Ha into the draw, which I'm sure they'd love to throw that, but I don't think they're going to bite. I think they know what they need to do here. But yeah, let's see what happens here. Draw weight's been eluding them for most of this game. If they can get one to where Kristen's tapping her broom. Sweeper's trying to drag it here.
Looks like just a little higher than what they would have wanted.
It is higher than they wanted. It's not a bad spot, really.
No, yeah. It's almost like a plan B for them. It's higher, but it still looks to be in a pretty good spot. It's still biting, so they are sitting 3.
So so they're sitting 3. Now, there is a chance for a double. I think best case, I think you're really happy for Team Hunkin. Best case, they throw a double, and you're throwing open draw for 2, touching it anywhere. There is a chance here this jams, that this doesn't get out. Or you just drive it by everything and you score 3. So you're right. I don't think that's where they were calling it. But just barely biting might be good enough.
Yeah, you're definitely... It's looking pretty good for Team Hunkin to score right now.
Yep. If Team Ha hit at least something. She flipped that one out. You could tell. Nope. Here it comes.
Just diving in there. Oof.
She nicks the top guard. Haley, I think she's got to draw for 4.
Yeah, she's got it's just that inch, right? Just almost the same thing of what Hunkin did earlier. Just that inch, and you leave the other team open for a big score. And just like that, she is definitely back in it now. If she lands this one, it's only a 1-point lead.
Yeah, how quickly things can change on a Saturday night in Alberta.
Yep.
It just needs the 12-foot.
Yeah.
Any piece. Draw weight has been avoiding her for most of this game, but she can change it with 1 throw.
It's looking pretty good out of her hand here.
Starting to curl on her. Needs to get past that top one. Can't crash on it. My goodness. That comes up light by a few feet.
But I think you're still happy if you're Team Hunkin right now.
Yeah, that's the bad news. The good news is that they're still going to put up 3 points. And the lead is now 5-3. Team Ha will take the hammer as we enter the 4th end break here.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
And welcome back here to the Curling Stadium Alberta Curling Series Major here in Leduc, Alberta. I am Matt Sussman, and Haley Britton is alongside me, and we just watched a very interesting end where Team Hunkin was looking to score and had a chance for 4, but another case of a light draw just ended up in a score of 3.
And just like that, Team Hunkin's right back in it.
Absolutely, and I think that's the main goal. They capitalized on some Team Hot trying to hit any red rocks they could, and they just kept hitting one red rock. Things got out of hand for them early, and all of those crashes led to that big score. And they put a field goal up there instead of I can't think of any other sports where you can score 4 in one thing.
I know, yeah. It's hard to compare for sure.
A grand slam. There we go. I knew this one.
You tell we're curlers.
It's late on a Saturday night.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's a big change there. So after we think back to the way this end went, Team Haas coming out with a 2, followed by another steal, a 1, and a steal, a 2, and coming back with a big 3. That's a lot of back and forth action here. So 4th end break. So if you're Team Hoff, you can get Haley into the mind of either the skip or the coach. What are you feeling at this point?
Well, if you're Team High, you got a lead, which is nice. Yeah, it's only 2 though. You still would have liked that 5 lead, but at this point, I think you don't clutter it up as much. You would like a couple guards here and there, and you do have hammer this end, so getting your 2 would be nice. So definitely utilizing those corners this end.
Yeah, I think you're right. You got to be happy, but this thing happened. You can't shut curlers out, not on this stage.
Yeah.
There might be other teams that you can shut out, and I would be on one of those teams. But people are going to score. Sometimes you're going to score big points, and that's I think a learning experience. There is these things will happen, and the point is you're still in a really good spot. If you'd be up 2 going into the 5th, you'd be happy. So
exactly, yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of chances here. I think you could come out and try to score. You might even try to blank. That's if you have that opportunity here. But Team Hunkin here going to try to come out here and throw as many guards as they can to start out.
Yeah, they definitely want to stir the pot here. If you're Team High, you wouldn't mind taking your 2, and if it comes down to it, and blank wouldn't be terrible, you take the hammer into the 6, try and score in them lucky even ends.
Speaking of blanks, I think if we saw peeked over on the other sheet here, I think they put up a blank end in the 5th as well.
Yeah, it seems to be a lot of blank ends over there, which shows that both teams are very, very equally matched.
A lot of, tentative curling over there, just trying to find your opportunity there. A lot of opportunities here to score here, and center guard is up, so I think the Korean champions here are going to just make an attempt and try to, looks like they're calling to just go underneath.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like just beating Team Hunkin to the come around and try and just get as many rocks as they can in there. Not as many red rocks, more their rocks.
Yeah, I think you want to get in there first. That stone didn't end up exactly where they want. It's a little light, a little wide. So yeah, I think we're going to have another cluttered end here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Team Hunkin throwing both their first two shots as guards, it's definitely foreshadowing that. Actually, sorry, they're coming in with their second, but it's definitely foreshadowing that it's going to be a very cluttered end.
And Dana Demmons' second will just curl around, touch the forefoot, kind of leave it as protection for yellow. So I don't know if that's where they wanted it, but that's where it is. And they have a chance here with some sort of bump weight, try to take out the red.
Yeah, Team Ha looks like they're trying to just bump their yellow into that red, and I think that'll end up leaving them sitting 2. Maybe just drive that red just back house, maybe even out if they have enough.
And the shot's looking pretty good. Bump, bump. And very nice shot there by Sujin Kim.
Yeah, it looks like Team Hunkin's just going to reply with a nice come around. They don't have hammer this sense. They just want to get their rock in there and try and make it as cluttered as possible for Team Ha and just try and get another point on that board.
That's right. They got the center guard there. And, those two Yellowstones are actually not in a very favorable angle for Team Ha. So there is a good chance to maybe get underneath there. But this one is floating a little bit, but here it comes.
Yeah. A lot of these rocks just like to really curve in right near the end. Just slides back a little deep though.
Yep, good finish. That's a little deep, but it's really good spot because you can't really take it out. So here comes the peels, as expected.
Yeah, your Team Ha, you want to get all of the guards that don't help you out of there as soon as possible, for sure.
And they get just enough of that one.
Yeah, that red rock, if they put this guard up in the right spot, that red rock will be difficult to get out, but it does leave the come around and sit on top of it. But definitely don't think it's going anywhere.
Yeah, you're always going to leave the come around. I think if you're Team Hunkin, you want them to throw that. And yeah, I think we're just going to see a cat and mouse game here of throwing up guards and peeling them and waiting for someone to miss something here until we get to skip stones. So it's not the glitch in the matrix. We're going to see these stones over and over again here. And another good guard there.
Yeah, it's usually with these, like, as you say, cat and mouse type situations, it's as soon as someone just, their rock overcurls or undercurls a little bit, that other team just swoops in and takes advantage of that situation and runs away with it almost.
Just barely get that one too. They're making their shots, but boy, they're not making it close.
Yeah, they're making it difficult to watch. It's one of those like whoop, hold your breath kind of. Huh.
Had it all the way.
Yeah, just throwing that guard up again, just kind of coaxing Team Ha to try and use another one of their rocks to get it out.
Looking back at the rest of this event, there are 6 qualifiers for this cash spiel. We had Team Gim, also out of Korea, come out of the A side, as well as Team Scheidegger, which I think a lot of people expected as well to qualify. So they are awaiting some winners of some games. We have Team Kitazawa, who beat Team Ha this afternoon to be a B qualifier, and then Team Kaiser out of, I believe, Switzerland? Yeah, Switzerland.
I believe so, yeah.
Who beat Corinne Brown to be in the B side. And so these two games left will finalize the playoffs, and I believe that the winners of these 2 games will play the B winners, and the winners of those will play the A winners in the semifinal.
I believe so. I think that is how this layout works for that one.
And Curling Stadium is going to have it all tomorrow, all those games.
Mm-hmm.
So you can watch football if you also watch this.
It's a compromise.
Yeah, you got enough screens in your house, you got enough bandwidth, you can watch it all. If you don't have enough bandwidth, just watch this.
Yeah, just curling, that's it. Yeah, I'll be out playing some games tomorrow, but you know for sure my mom will be on the sidelines having this up on her phone at the same time.
Yeah. So is
Uh,
that a league then on Sunday?
No, this one is me and my competitive team, we were supposed to have a tournament this weekend, but they ended up canceling it. So we got a couple teams together, and we're just doing like a fun little, almost like a practice game. Yeah.
Okay. A little scrimmage.
Yeah. But for sure, we will have these games up in the background. So if we can do it, you can do it.
Well, with another guard coming up, Team Ha's changing gears here. It looks like they're going to try to, I suppose, peel out maybe their own?
Yeah, they might. Looks a little down for that, so they might just be trying to tap something in.
If they hit it a little bit low, they'll get some action, and the 1 second will go a little bit back. Oh.
All right.
I'm not sure what that did exactly.
It opened it up.
It took the staggers out, and I think that was really hurting him because that guard really took everything away. So it did a little bit.
That back red one's definitely open for Team Ha now. It's difficult to get at, but I feel like with a little low weight hit, you could get at that one. Yeah,
you have that. You could maybe get through the port. You also have just a run back. It's a short one, but it's a run back. So it's accessible now. It was not accessible before, and you didn't want to do a come around. So
yeah,
it sort of did the job, I suppose. So now with duplicate shots no longer happening here. See if Kristen Streifel here can protect their shot stone. I'd love to have another one in the house somewhere. You don't want to go broke in the 5th and pick up a big score here, but it's coming up pretty good here.
Definitely leaves that back one open still, which I think is what they're looking at.
Yeah, I think you've been looking at this shot here, Haley. I think you like this one. If you can,
I do.
you would throw this?
I would throw this. Yeah, I think it's all there. You even if you end up bumping one of those top red guards, it opens it up more, than gives them more likely to make the shot. But I would throw this one. I like the up weights.
Yeah, you just got to know what the weight choice to do with that, because that port, I mean, that's a very unusual port. You're going against the grain. You're hitting your target low. It's probably not a shot that feels good to throw, but it's probably, it's either this or you peel something else.
It's a high risk, high reward, and I feel like either way, if you end up peeling those red ones out of there, it still works in your favor.
This is right through, and little bit too much weight. Clips their own stone, and that would have otherwise, if their own yellow wasn't there, that would have been a nice made shot, possibly rolling under cover. Instead, Team Hunkin is now sitting one. They've got two guards up front. And they've got a chance to either toss another guard up or even try to loop around and sit and just try to take that port away.
Yeah.
That was close to being made, but again, that was the weight choice. You couldn't just blast through that hole there. It had to have a little bit of finish on it.
Yeah, you wanted a good amount of weight to be able to keep it straight enough, but not enough that it doesn't curl. It's difficult, but you got to find that sweet spot almost. And if you're Team Hunkin, you got to put this one in the right spot, because now Team Ha knows that the right line and they can do it again almost.
Yeah, scoring those 3 points seemed to have been a big boost to the morale, as this looks like a completely different team than we saw the first 3 ends.
Yeah, it definitely gave them a little more hop in their step, getting that 3, knowing that they're still in this, they can still win it.
Jessie's first stone here. It is not stopping.
Looking like just going to slide just a little deep into the back of the house. But now that port's open, and if you hit it in the right, I think you might get both of them.
Yeah, you're right. It's close, though. I mean, this is where you have to throw enough for it to not overcurl.
Exactly, yeah. I think now at this point you take the same line and almost maybe the same weight. That way it stays nice and straight and you can get that double. It's it's risky. It's high risk, high reward for sure. But we are on skip stones, so the Team Ha is willing to take that risk.
They just threw it. Well, she didn't throw it. Her third threw it, so she gets an opportunity to see the shot the other way. And yeah, like you said here, good chance here to. I mean, she makes the double, then this is suddenly completely flipped the end.
And I feel like we've seen a lot of that. It's looking one way, and then one rock just suddenly flips the end.
That needs to curl a little bit, and it does.
Double.
And the double is made. Very nice shot by Seongyoun Ha. They are sitting 3 with shot stone under cover, but there is an out.
Yeah, I feel like you can still get at it if you're Team Hunkin. You can still get at it if you're them. It's more difficult now. But I feel like you still got a good chance of getting in there and sitting yours on top of that yellow. It was a very nice shot played by Team Ha, though. I'm definitely very jealous.
Jealous is one way of thinking about it. But yeah, there is an opportunity here. Just freeze on that yellow, right on the nose. Maybe even a little off nose. That's going to put a lot of thinking into how they're going to try to score either make a choice to either score one or score a bunch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you put this in the perfect spot. I don't think Team Hawk can get this red one out of here.
Jessie Hunkin's been waiting for that one shot where it's bullseye, and so far that wait hasn't been there yet, but new path, possibly an opportunity. I think they like it. They are
looking
drawing
good
it in there. Just like that.
Perfect
One shot changes everything. That freeze is now shot stone. And that, Haley, I believe, is going to force them into the draw for one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. We just saw, within the span of 2 rocks, we saw the game flip on its head twice. Because right there, you got Team Hawk sitting 3, and now you've got Team Hunkin sitting 1. It just shows you how one or 2 shots can change the end. Definitely two very good shots played by those teams in a row.
Absolutely. I think they're looking at some opportunities to see if they could try to chip that thing out. I don't think that's the time for this. I think you need to score your one.
Mm-hmm.
Just touch the button. Well, really, full 4. And that will be, you go back up to a 3-point lead. Again, you don't need to win the game right here. You'd love to. You'd love to get your naps and, go in with trying to win 3 games tomorrow, which is going to be on the menu if whoever wins this game. But yeah, shots starting to be made by both skips, level play going up, and yeah, it's this is you played the entire end to get to this point. Just draw for your point.
Mm-hmm. And I do like this draw because there is a point. They were looking at that chip, as you said, but I do like this as they realize that there is a point to being a little bit too greedy trying to get those multiple points, and they already have the lead. And as you said, just putting it in, trying to get their one, gain that a little more of a lead on this.
So hammers away. There is now some urgency on the sweepers to get around the guard, and they need to drag this far enough. Did they do it? Did they just pull the string? And that's going to come up a little bit light. So really well played end, really by both teams. And Team Hunkin will get another point. They have cut the lead to 5-4 as we head into the 6th end. Welcome back to the Curling Stadium Alberta Curling Series Major. Saturday night, Seaside final here between Team Hunkin and Team Ha of Korea. Team Hunkin just stole a point after being down 5-0. They are inching their way back, and Haley, I think they didn't start well, they might have just hogged a guard here. I'll take a look at it here, but might be okay. But yeah, they're regrouping and they're looking a little bit better.
Yeah, they are crawling their way back from that 5-0 lead, and yeah, they've definitely gained momentum here for sure.
As that guard just barely crossed, apparently, they are going to try to move it off the center line here with everyone's favorite shot, the tick. Everyone has a very strong opinion on the tick. There are some movements and some rules to experiment with limiting when you can throw ticks or how you can throw ticks, but they are legal here, and looks like that one was made pretty well. It's off the center line now, and leaving a pretty nice corner guard as well.
Yeah, that actually ended up in a really nice spot for Team Oz using their corner. They got hammer. They like the corners right now.
Yeah, nice, more wide and open there. Looking over on the other sheet, which is an end ahead of us, in the seventh end, Team Skurlick steals a point. So Team Brown having the hammer for the last 4 ends now takes it after 3 blanks and a steal. They're down 2-1, but they got the hammer. So another center guard goes up in our game.
Yeah, it's looking to be a little cluttered this end with 3 guards so far, and if I was Team Ha, and yeah, trying to get one in now, beat Team Hunkin in there.
You could also throw another tick if you felt like you could do that. They are opting to just sort of go for it here, and not the wrong call, but
yeah, I feel like either shot you get to either go in or you get your second corner guard, which double corner guards always help with getting those hammer points. But yeah, beating Team Hunkin around it's a pretty good shot here, I think.
And when we talk about analytics and you look at the numbers and you know what your tendencies are, and I think one of the big sort of movements in the last few years has been hammer in the even ends.
Yes.
So with it, Team Ha is going to be guaranteed to have the hammer in this end and another. So even if you score 1, you got to remember that's a win. So if you can find your 1, if you're forced to 1, don't worry about it. That's good, and then that's going to force Team Hunkin to have to steal or have to score more than 2. So I don't mind just trying to go underneath. Looks like they landed in the 8 foot, but this is Team Hunkin doesn't mind this either, I'm sure.
No, yeah, I think they like coming around. Just you can almost use that. It's a little deep, but you can always use that yellow as another guard to kind of help hide yours. Looks like their red is just going to slide a little bit deep, but it's still shot, so it's not a terrible shot.
Seongyoun Ha eyeing up the double peel here.
Mm-hmm.
They are separated.
They are, yeah. Just kind of watching them how they play. It does seem like they do like their up weights for sure.
Yeah, I think they're a team that really likes to take, not chances. I don't know if that's the right word, but they really like the shots that really pay off.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, a single peel's good here too, if that doesn't work.
For sure, yeah.
And close.
Looking pretty good.
Pretty nice. That is leaving. Oh, and they bounce one of their own. That just rearranged everything there.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of the 3 guards in the middle, they double peel 2. One turns into a corner, and then now they're sitting 2-3.
Yeah, that was I'd say that's a pretty nice shot for Team Ha, getting their, I believe now they're second and third, and now they have a corner guard they can use too. So that was a pretty nice outcome for them.
Absolutely. So now if Team Hunkin, you got to be careful here. You don't want to give up the 2. You probably don't want them to score 1 either, but you definitely are not in control anymore.
No, yeah, definitely. Your Team Hunkin, you want to score yourself this end. You don't want to give them too much of a lead heading into these crucial final ends.
So another center guard going up, and I think they're baiting them into hitting the shot stone. I at least think they're baiting them into it. They threw a center guard for a reason. I believe that was the call.
Yeah, it's definitely trying to, as you said, bait them into throwing that hit, because it's very tempting at this point. You have that guard, which is covering a little bit of it, but it is open. It's definitely tempting for this team.
Yeah, anytime I play a sort of a younger team, I try to trick them with wisdom. It doesn't always work. They make me look bad with. I mean, they're so limber and I can't bend down a whole lot at my age and shape. But you want to try to get them to throw a shot that would make you a little bit happy. Now here they go. We're gonna. Need this to curl.
Yeah, it's really got to come in.
Get a little piece.
That is
it's just enough. Ooh, any less that might jam, but
yeah, that is still good on Team Ha's part. Get that red out of there, and I think they're pretty happy right now.
Absolutely. I think that's the shot they wanted to throw, and now that they did, they got a little bit of a half miss. That did not roll underneath corner, so I think Jessie's going to have Kristen here try to just go underneath and have this thing double guarded.
Yeah, you can definitely try what you did before and just put it in there, and it's difficult to get out if you put it in the right spot.
Just going on this one.
It looks like it's just come up a little light, which isn't bad. They can always come around that one, use it as a guard, but would have liked it a bit deeper.
Yeah, I don't know if that stone does a whole lot.
Yeah, it's
Team Ha. Why are we not already throwing the peel here?
I would, if I were them, I'd throw the peel. You got a lead, you got hammer. I say you peel that red out.
And we're looking at a draw here. Which again, if you do that's great. You can block off the scoring path. You can make it really hard. You can force Team Hunkin into a hit, but my goodness,
it's a very aggressive choice, in my opinion.
I like to see the aggression sometimes. They go for the shot that really gives them a lot of reward here. I think a more experienced team probably would just try to rip a guard and be now what does Team Hunkin do with that if the center guard's not there? Where do they hide? How do they do it? But here they're just gonna try to close off any chance of them drawing into the 4th foot.
Yeah, and these types of shots always make the game more interesting.
That's right. That's the way to put it. Okay, just waiting for that finish on here, but this one is going deep. Just back button. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's where they wanted that. That was the danger. A couple feet deep.
Yeah, it definitely leaves either the freeze or the slight hit and roll for Hunkin here. Would have liked that a little higher.
Chance for Team Hunkin to get out of this end because this is getting out of hand here.
Mm-hmm.
Good freeze will change things here. Just waiting for that thing to finish there.
Looks like it's going to be just outside a bit. Still a pretty good shot.
Great weight. Just a foot wide.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely in like a plan B sort of spot. It's sort of like the inner.
Score update just next door. Corinne Brown picked up 2 points in the 7th end, so they have a 3-2 lead over Team Skurlik going into the 8th. Skurlik has the hammer. You can watch that one just alongside this game here on YouTube on Curling Stadium. Again, Team Ha looking to add more rocks into the house.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a change in strategy here, I believe.
It is. They seem content on scoring.
This one looks like it's just hanging out there, though. Right.
That is a good shot. I'm not sure who's closer. Wish I was standing directly over it.
Looks like yellow is sitting first and second there.
Ooh, they might be.
It's definitely difficult not being right over top of it and in person.
Keep enhancing until I can figure it out. But I think the more important fact is the angle is there. It's on top of it, and it's easy to punch out of there. So
yeah,
all the same, a really wonderful shot there, and I think there's really no other choice other than to follow it down, possibly.
Yeah, if you're Team Hunk and you're trying to almost do the same thing or try and sit almost the reverse pocket, just biting that top button, because I feel like Team Ha's next shot is coming down and trying to punch that red out.
Yeah, it's almost not helping you either. You could even consider trying to unlock it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If you are going to try to use that one that was just thrown to sort of roll or wheel off into the button, a little separation probably wouldn't hurt you.
No, yeah, if you get little separation, it makes that punching that red one out harder for Team Ha, especially if you move it back a bit.
Yeah, at this point, giving up one, if your Team Hunkin, is not the end of the world. That does still give you 2 ends left. And that might be your best bet here because, yeah, the yellows are starting to pile up. You certainly don't want to give up more than one.
Mm-hmm.
You've come this far.
Exactly. Yeah, if you can come back from 5, they have a good chance of coming back from the 2-point lead. Just having a little chat with the coach to make sure they pick the best decision here.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Even trying to pick the decision and again, just calm those nerves, make sure they are focused on making the shot and just all around, just kind of like a breather and just get ready.
No, there are a lot of options there, I think, in terms of how much weight you want to throw at this. I think they sort of know the path they want to take. But there are, you want to be precise on this. You want this rock you want to leave your shooter in a very usable spot. You don't want it to, fly wide. You don't want it to come up light. This light's not awful, but it does come down to what they think is second shot there. And, Haley, I'm not convinced that's second, but again, that they might see something different there.
They might, yeah. We aren't there, so we're not entirely sure. It's one of those, you gotta be right there to see if it is or not.
Yeah, it's an optical illusion, really, because I think the yellow rocks tend to sort of jut out more.
Yeah.
So, but I think regardless, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think regardless, you'd throw the same shot even if it was second, because either way, it doesn't really change too much of where the rocks are placed.
Yeah, it's unlikely that red is not going to move at some point in this end. So you might as well assume, the tie goes to the yellow.
Exactly,
and you play it yourself. You play down there with the way you want to. And as see where the broom is, I think they are going to try to sort of hit and roll under with the weight they want.
Yeah, and sort of just beat Team Ha to it so that they can't nuzzle a yellow in there and sit more points than they'd like.
There's really even a chance that this rolls for shot, but I think if you can just get this underneath, maybe touch the button, get underneath that yellow one, without disturbing the red too much, like the frozen red, I think you're going to be pretty pleasantly happy here.
Yeah.
This is moving on them.
It looks like it might just run into that top yellow. Yeah.
I don't think that is... I think they were going for just maybe the straight draw based on the weight. And that leaves a large chunk of that Yellowstone open.
Yeah.
To drive this out.
Yeah, it's definitely still there and seeing our pattern. I wouldn't be surprised if they went for this risky reward shot.
Yeah, I think even if you throw any amount of weight, even a lot of weight, you're probably sitting 3 at the end of the shot. So
yeah, even if you just bump it back just to back 8, you're sitting a good amount of points.
Well, they've been quite unfortunate the last couple ends, having struggled to get back on the board here, having a 5-0 lead after 3 ends, and then giving up 4 unanswered points. So here's a chance for Seongyoun Ha to answer. I think, any amount of any amount of yellow hit on that will result in them sitting probably 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't need a rocket to move that red one since it is so close. Just need almost to just tap it back, but if you get it out, that'd be even better.
First skip stone is away. Sweeper's on it almost immediately. We get past the red, and she does.
Man, it looks like they sit 4.
They are sitting 4. That was a really interesting sort of redirect that happened there. I think that sort of dragged, hit Shot Stone. Shot Stone is now completely undercover. Is there a chance here, Haley, for the thrown rock, which rolled all the way into the open? Could you use that one at all?
I think you can use it. I don't think you're going to get shot, but I think you can limit how much Team Hoff scores here, which I think is what they're planning to do. I'm not sure if the angle's there to get shot, though.
I think you're right. I think you'd have to throw a lot to do that. You'd probably have to hit it on the side, which would probably work, honestly, if I'm looking at it. If you can move that thing sideways 2 feet, then you're buried under cover. But really, I think, back to your point, you want to limit the scoring. You can't draw on the other side. I guess you could draw on the other side, but this is probably the safer way to get a force.
Yeah, I think the only way you get shot is if you throw a bullet and just almost punch that other yellow one out, which might be what they're doing.
They're on it, and just like that.
Yep.
Jessie Hunkin, what a shot. Sitting 1, totally buried. I don't think it's accessible.
No, I don't think it's. Don't think you're getting that red out of there.
7th game of the weekend, and you still got shots left.
Yeah,
they won an 8th.
They do. They want to bring this one right to the end.
Well, really, they could play a maximum of 10 games. That's looking ahead a lot. So now
that is a lot.
Yeah. So now Seongyoun Ha, I think, is looking at playing the run here, red into yellow into red. This would be like a double raise, potentially for 3.
Potentially, yeah, I think, but you got to hit it on the right spot, or else I think you're just hitting it off that other red, or just doubling your own out of there.
I think it's the only shot they have. I don't see a draw for 1, and I don't see you giving up more than 1. I don't think you can hurt yourself so bad. I think this is a very reasonable call here for Seongyoun Ha.
Yeah, I don't think you can give them a multiple here, but it is a tricky shot.
Well, the hammer has been thrown. Chance here for a double raise. This one is going to just float wide. Looks like it just feathered off the top one. And a wonderful shot by Jessie Hunkin. Steals another point, and just like that, after being down 5-0, Team Hunkin is knotted with Team Ha 5-5 going into the 7th. Welcome back to the Curling Stadium Alberta Curling Series Major in this C qualifying final. Matt Sussman here alongside Haley Britton. And Haley, no 5-0 lead is ever safe, is it?
No, not in this game for sure. Team Hunkin has crawled their way back and they're sitting tied. They're still in it. Don't count them out.
Absolutely not. After falling down 5-0, now you got to foul down early if you're going to come back. And then after 3 ends, it was looking like we might have gone to bed early here, but instead we have a close game in the 7th, which is all you ever want to watch. So as predicted, center guard goes up.
Team Hung looks like they're deciding very carefully what they want to do here. Looks like they're just trying to make that tick and roll in.
Yeah, that's a difficult one, but it's, again, worth a lot if you can open it up for yourself and score a couple.
Looks like they're just going to be a little short of the house, but they can always use that.
I think it's a violation.
Went out. We didn't even see that one. To put that back up.
That's the danger of the tick.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have a final on the sheet next to us. Team Skurlik had to throw a double to score 2, and they did. They will advance over Team Brown 4-3, and they are the 5th team in the playoffs that start tomorrow. In this game, we'll find out who the 6th team is. So missed tick opportunity. Everything goes back to where it was. Chance here to throw a second center guard, I assume.
Yeah, you're definitely going to want to capitalize on it if you're Team Hunkin.
Now, I think it doesn't really matter what sport it is. Momentum is maybe not a scientific thing. Maybe it's metaphysical. Don't want to get too deep here on a Saturday night, but it always seems to exist. And you've got games where one team starts out well and then another team kind of comes barreling through. You always want to be that team playing well at the end, and you're just seeing that here.
Very nice come around draw by Team Hunkin. It looks like it's perfectly lined up.
That's right, going for the draw, the come around over the second guard.
Looks like Team Ha's just gonna follow them around, try and freeze right on top.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what they did. Sets up the end pretty nicely for them. And I think regardless of outcome here, Team Ha has been in Canada for a while. I don't know if this is their first time here, but certainly this is the highest rank they've been. They've been playing a lot of different teams, and they're clearly talented. We have a hog?
I wonder if that grabbed something, because it looked well out of her hand and it just almost stopped.
Just a pick, possibly.
Yeah.
But before that, I was trying to get to a point of their, playing some high-class competition, the likes of which they have not played. And, I think a game like this can be one where you really, win or lose, you learn a lot about, strategy and composure.
For sure. Especially with that that lead they had, they composed themselves well, and now they have to try and deal with Team Hunkin crawling back. They definitely a learning experience for them.
It was, and if you even think about earlier, there was a missed point on the board just to draw to the paint. This could easily be 6-5. So,
yeah, easily could.
So, all that said, again, tied with hammer. It's a good opportunity. So they Team Ha elects after the hog or the pick to just peel a guard and keep this thing nice and open there. So another guard being thrown. So this is going to sort of protect the yellow, which is probably the right one to protect at this point.
Yeah. I think, you don't want to leave that open for them to almost play the yellow-red and leave them with 2, and I think they're just looking at playing on this red one right now.
Yeah, they sure are. They really like looking at everything here. I think that's something that will happen later when teams or skips rather that have a little bit more instinct and have seen a lot. They'll know whether or not to do that. Doesn't matter how much you see that rock. Is that the right call or not? No, the right call is to do the peel. So, keep just trade hits here or peel as many guards as you can and simplify the end.
Yeah, just getting a simple peel here.
Yeah, once again, they're just hitting a little bit of it. That's sensing a theme here. But another guard is certainly to be called here. And that guard is well placed again. Just taking a look at Team Hunkin's games earlier today, they did have a game this afternoon against Kelly Stixma where Team Hunkin was down 4-1 after 4. Fifth end, they scored a point. Sixth end, stole 1. Seventh end, stole 2. Eighth end, stole 1 to win 6-4. So they've been in this situation.
They like their comebacks.
Not as drastically as down 5-0, but that's what you have to do is finish strong. And they've clearly done that in at least in that victory. The rest of them were sort of textbook wins, but I don't know about you, but I really do enjoy playing games where you come back to win.
Well, just barely getting that one out
again. You get with those picks.
Whew.
Another guard going up here. Well, I always joke in my mixed doubles partner is we always seem to find ourselves in the first few ends behind. And, we're not the best team in the league, but we win more than we lose. And my mixed doubles partner at now has finally come to realize that that's just how I play my games. That's what happens. So we're never worried when we're behind. It's when we have an early lead that we're worried because we don't know what to do with that.
Yeah, you're like, this is new. What do we do
here?
3-0.
What now? What's the problem here? So, again, and at least personally for me, I think that sort of keeps you in the game more. It keeps your mind working and sharp. I think when you do have that lead, it is hard to sometimes lose focus. You just found success in some ends. You scored some big points. You've got a lot of wiggle room here, and now it's all gone.
I feel like some teams definitely thrive in that pressure situation. I feel like Team Hunkin's one of them. Just as you said, looking at their past games, they were crawled back. I feel like they thrive under that pressure of being down.
Yeah, it's a good lesson here for really any team here is, you can come back from it. It's, at some point the lead is a little insurmountable and then you take your lumps and you go home. But in this case, they did just enough to get back into it. And it's now Team High here, I think, is looking at running this back, maybe spilling everything.
Yeah, definitely open it up for them, give them more opportunities to get there too here.
Guard slipped a little bit deep. There is a chance here. I don't know if you want to run the straight back, but you do have a chance to kind of open up the scoring area here. Shots off, and we get rid of 2. So the 4-foot is now open. Team Hunkin still sitting 1 rock in the top of the 8-foot. Wheels are turning now. Leaves a guard up there, which benefits Team Hunkin as well.
Yeah, definitely a lot of this game's a thinker. Both teams have had to make some hard decisions and use their timeouts to make sure that they're the right ones. Definitely one of those logical games that you can definitely learn from after.
Yeah, this game can be very mentally tiring out of nowhere, as well as physically tiring, as I seem to like to mention every end. This is their 7th game of the weekend.
Yeah.
And so there is a lot of different elements of fatigue that go along here. But again, it's just all about the next shot here. Just try to come around here and sit 2 here. Sweepers aren't working too hard on this one. Seems to have enough on its own. That'll just go behind the T line, sit in the back four, laying 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like they're just... It's nice behind that top yellow, so Team All always can come down and sit on it.
Yeah, and I think that is really their only choice there. I don't know if they want to come straight down to it. They'd still be behind the T line. All of a sudden, scoring 1 probably isn't enough here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We just saw in the other game, with the 5 rock rule, 8th end, you make all your shots, you can score 2. So I'm not sure how you get the skips deuce out of this, but you probably want to draw around and probably leave it high in the top of the T line and not use it as backing.
Mm-hmm.
Seongyoun has first rock. Sweepers are not really doing much, trying to get it over there.
Looks like it's got a curl here.
Going to need the backing. That's lucky, and that is going to crash and roll for second shots.
Mm-hmm.
And now, your Team Hunkin, you've got a chance to steal now, all of a sudden.
Yeah. And I think if you're either team here, you want to if you're taking points, I think you want to get multiple because, as you said, that in that last end, you can get many points, and especially in this game with Hunkin crawling back and scoring as high as they are, you want to score multiple points here. So I think Hunkin's just trying to figure out a best way to do that.
Yeah, that's a really good point because, like I said, if you score 1, the other team has hammer in the 8th, and that's what you want. Down 1 with hammer, that is a very advantageous spot for a lot of teams.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it will be very interesting to see what Team Ha does if they have an opportunity to just give Team Hunkin 1 point. But if they can bury this one, then they could be looking at scoring 2, just like you said. There's your 2.
Mm-hmm.
Again, after being down 5-0, really early on, a 3-ender, steal, tie game, possibly with a really good chance here if Jessie can get one underneath to take the lead into the 8th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she has a very good chance of being up 2 without.
Jessie Hunkin's last rock is underway. Looking for the 4-foot. I think they are going heavy and maybe needing to go to the back yellow.
Well, it looks like they're sitting 3 now, so it's down to Ha to make that draw.
But you've got a big, thick wall back there, and you don't want to bank and rely on it because that wall's undercover. But this should be a very simple draw. Is missed opportunity to steal, but again, take your point. I don't think there's really any way to just give the other team 1. Just take your point and take the lead and figure it out in the 8th, I suppose.
Yeah, because now they make this, they'll be up one without, and be interested to see how because this entire time they've been up, so it'll be interesting to see how their strategy changes when they're down now. No, yeah, sorry, they'll still be up. Sorry, it's early. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Saturday night. You're never wrong on Saturday nights. Well, this one is looking nice. Sweepers are just following it down, and it's going right into the backing. And after a 5-0 lead, all gone, Seongyoun throws a shot to score a point. They'll be up 6-5, but Team Hunkin will have the hammer going into the 8th end. Welcome back to the Curling Stadium, Alberta Curling Series Major. We are in the 8th end of the last game of the night. Team Seongyoun is up 6-5 after drawing for a point. Team Hunkin has hammer and is looking to score multiples. The winner of this game moves on to play in the playoffs. So, Haley, what are we looking at here? What's the strategy going into the 8th end for both teams?
Honestly, well, if you're you want it nice and clean. Well, actually, no, they don't. It's difficult to say because they're up one without. I think you want to try and get your one in and make it very difficult for Hunkin to get any points here. So I'd say might want to clutter it up, and Hunkin wants to keep it clean so they can get there too.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be fine if they just if it was clean and they just throw their 1 point, and then you play the extra. Steal mode is also, I think, to your point, a really good option here, because like you said, 2 is very possible. If you make all your shots, if you make every single shot you're supposed to do, you're supposed to score 2 points.
Mm-hmm, so picture perfect world. That's yeah.
With 5 rock rule, able to put up some corner guards, you get up a corner guard, you get one underneath, and it's going to be tough. So, again, brand new ball game. We weren't quite sure how long we were going to be on the broadcast here after 5-0 lead was created after 3 ends, but a big 3-ender, almost 4, followed by a couple steals. We never quite had the lead, but it is now. You wouldn't know that insanity happened to start. It is now just a regular old game, 6-5 in the 8th, and both teams are, I think, now playing well. I suppose you could say. So, center guard up, corner guard up. Expect a lot of rocks in play.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be aggressive because Hunkin wants that 2 to win, and Ha does not want to give them that. They're gonna want to either score or keep it nice and clean. They're not going to want to give Hunkin any points here.
Yeah, they have not really been the team that's had to throw guards or even draws.
No.
And as you can see, that comes up a little bit light. Now we've got 2 center guards kind of junked up there. Opportunity here to go under the corner.
Yeah, and I think going under the corner is the best way for Hunkin to get there too here. They go under and then leaves Ha to make some decisions on where they put their rocks, since they haven't really had a close lead this game. They've had a pretty high up lead, but Hunkin's definitely going to want to go around this corner to be able to get there too.
Yep. Oh, this one is looking a little light. So the come around opportunity just leaves another corner guard. Now that port's blocked off. They can't really use it. So the reigning Korean national champions with an opportunity to shrink the scoring area here.
Yeah, if you're Team Ha, you're definitely coming around those ones and trying to nuzzle one in there that, as you said, limit the scoring area for make it more difficult on Team Hunkin. Looks like this one's just gonna slide a little bit. Nope, looks like it's gonna be pretty good. Still out in the open a bit though.
Yeah, it is. That's really good weight. We have top button, a little bit exposed, like you said, but it does force Team Hunkin to do something with it. Don't look like they're going to go to chase it quite yet. They are going to elect to peel.
Get those centers out of there. I don't think they're helping them too much at this point.
No, I think there's a chance for them to maybe double peel and leave a corner. And they'll get the single. Does expose shot stone.
Yeah, it does leave that yellow one nice and open. But looks like Team Musk is just going to throw a guard up, try and protect that one and protect their lead.
Yeah, they can afford to just throw the guard up here because the missed come around. Now you don't have that second red in there yet. You can play just for the force and the steal. So yeah, good guard here will certainly change things.
Yeah, they definitely like that red didn't make it all the way in, because it makes it a bit easier on them when making decisions.
Waiting for this one to snap. It just did at the end. That guard does the job.
It's open, but there's no port there. I don't think you can get at it. So it tempts them, but can't do anything about it. It's like teasing them almost. Like, I'm
That's
here,
right.
but
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
they're
it's
just
tempting.
gonna open it up and be able to get at that one.
Yeah, double peel opportunity, I think. And where does that yellow go? Just underneath, just ticks that red, and Goes underneath. That's actually a really good shot.
Mm-hmm. It does roll that yellow in, but I think at this point it's not a terrible outcome for Team Hunkin.
Not at all. Not at all. And not everything's behind the tee line, but the entire front is open, which is, I think you can have a big sigh of relief if you're Team Hunkin. You can now score your one most likely. Now there still is a center guard here, but the thing's got to be placed absolutely perfect.
Yeah, Team Ha has to place it in the right spot to be able to protect their yellow here.
And that's right. Got to change your path on the guard a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They've been dead on with their guard weight, so that's not the issue here. Just got to get that line.
Yeah, the weight is looking pretty good from here. You just got to get it in the right spot.
They're pushing it over, and they did a really nice job. That thing is 98% covered.
Yeah, that is a nice outcome from Team Ha there, because it's, again, they know it's there. It's like, yeah, if you're Team Hunkin, you just come around with she just showed like a backline weight and try and move it either out of there or open so you can play with it a bit.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what they're calling here. Backline. Yeah, you don't have to remove it. You can just create a sort of some backing in the back. Roll your shooter, maybe out in the open, but in front of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else. You want to hit something. Get something out of the way.
Yeah, you want to move something. You don't like that yellow hiding there. You just want to move it so you can put yours there.
Well, it's past the guard. It's on shot stone, and shooter's going to roll out. So that really nice draw to the top button has been forced out behind the tee line. Center guard still up.
Mm-hmm.
Another chance.
Team Hall just has to recreate what they put there and force Team Hunkin to make that same beautiful shot again.
Exactly. I don't think you even need it that deep either. You can be higher. You can be top 4, top 8. Again, remember your goal. Don't want them to score 2.
Exactly. Yeah, you've got wiggle room for sure here of where you're gonna place it on that line. It's just got to be behind that guard.
And you think about how many rocks they have left. They get to throw 3 more.
Exactly.
And, you're running out of opportunities for that too.
Yeah, that's another thing in this case. They're also thinking just if you keep putting around it and they keep making that shot and the rocks roll out, eventually they're going to run out of rocks to be able to score that too. Definitely a thinker this end.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think these are the types of ends that when you finish games, a tie game is, like you said, we've talked about before with the ticks. They can sometimes be a little repetitive where it's really, draw, hit, draw, hit, draw, hit, draw to the 8 for the win. Mm-hmm. This situation is, I think, the most exciting finish in curling when you do have hammer down 1, because there's a lot of different things that can happen and a lot of different types of shots have to be made to score your 2 and win the game.
Yeah, and I feel like for the winning team in these kinds of ends, it's almost more rewarding because you feel like you worked for it. With it just being like a draw hit, you feel like, yeah, you won, but I feel like these thinkers where you had to actually put in the effort and the work, it feels definitely more rewarding when you win it.
That's right. And so now you think about the shot, and then you make the shot, and Team Ha comes up light. Mm-hmm. So here's your opportunity here. Here's Kristen Streuffel's second shot. Draw around everything. If they can beat them to the spots. They'll be sitting 1 with a chance to sit 2 later. But this has to curl.
It looks like it's just hanging out there again.
Oh my goodness! It is. The weight was right on.
It was.
That is just open.
Yeah,
entirely.
It is wide open, and Ha's looking at this like, yep, let's hit that.
You hit it, but again, you want to be careful with how much weight you throw, because
exactly, yeah.
You just kind of throw dynamite at it, and they have another chance here. They can roll, they can hit, they can nose. Nose is actually really good.
Nose would be great right now. Even if you do roll a little bit behind your guards, then it definitely makes it harder on Team Hunkin to make their next shot. I
like the nose hit now, and I think the reason is, you can try to roll, and you might be able to roll like a couple inches, but if you try to be too cute with it, A, you could miss it. B, you could roll too far and go behind the tee line. And there's another yellow rock for Jessie to try to freeze to. Exactly, I think the nose hit's exactly what you want to do here.
Yeah, I think you go for the nose. Roll is okay, but nose is definitely the target for this.
First skip stone is underway. Both sweepers trying to push this one.
This one's got a curl to get some of it. And it looks like it's just at the end there.
Yep. Oh, good job by the sweepers. Push that one over. That landed pretty much on the nose. Now Team Hunkin's got to figure out how to place a red undercover here.
Yeah, and I think she's just aiming for the hit and roll, but as you said, can't be too cute with it. You gotta get it in the right spot, or else might be open. It might be a little too deep too.
Yeah, not a lot of space between that guard and the rock. But if you're rolling, you're not rolling much. You might roll a piece, but sweepers are...
This one looks like it's staying out, but seeing as Haas snapped in, this one might as well.
Yep, that one's going to roll a little bit wide. It's going to stay for second shot. And now I think you have to really be careful what you do here. That shot could potentially score.
It could, yeah. You got to be... You're Ha, you got to be careful with what you choose and where you put it here, because you could leave Hunkin open to score here.
Well, that's the thing. This is, again, you want to think about this here. You can just hit that one out and make them draw for one. But if you do go for that hit, I guess you can't really hurt yourself too much. You hit that stone anywhere, it's... even if it jams, it's still second shot, and then you're still sitting 2.
See, right now, just looking at it, Ha looks like they do have first shot. So Are
you just conceding that, you hit this one out and then make her draw for one and go to the extra?
I think that's what they're doing, but do you ever... It's interesting to think about it. Do you ever just... Because your shot right now...
I think the danger is you could try to draw, but you miss the draw. There's a hit for 2 in the win. I think you just play it safe here and
just get this one out.
Mission accomplished. Exactly. Mission accomplished. Hit the red one, make it go away, and then they draw for 1. That's, again, that was one of the good outcomes for you. So here we go. And the piece is out there, and they'll crash into their own and roll. So the shot's going to be a little easier for Jessie Hunkin. She just needs full 8 to send this to an extra end. Well, Haley, I hope your scrimmage wasn't early tomorrow morning.
We're gonna be a little tired in the morning, that's for sure.
So again, just Jessie Hunkin just needing full 8 to score the 1, send this to an extra end, and try to complete the comeback. Sweepers are not doing much with it. This is to stop. This has to hit the brakes. And that slides too far.
Deep.
With that, Team Ha is going to steal 2 points and on a wild night. After coming down from 5-0 to tie it, Jessie Hunkin falls to the Korean national champion team Seongyoun Ha. They will win 8-5, and they will advance to the playoffs. So, Haley, do you have any final thoughts about this game?
It was a wild ride. Didn't Team Hunkin definitely crawled back to put pressure on Team Ha there?
Yeah, they did. That was a wonderful game. Tale of two halves, really.
Oh yeah.
So
it's definitely fun to watch.
It absolutely was. It was a delight, I'm sure, for those that watched, and maybe less so for those that played in it.
I agree.
So, anyways, wrapping up here. Thank you all for watching here on Saturday night with alongside Haley Britton. I am Matt Sussman, and we will see you tomorrow here at when the quarterfinals start tomorrow morning here on Curling Stadium.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your